Welcome back to forchildren.ca's series of conversations. Today we'll be speaking to Elizabeth Mayer about the impact the collaborative and proactive solutions model had on her and her work. Now, Elizabeth is the manager of student services at the Association of Independent Schools in New South Wales, Australia. So without further ado, let's welcome Elizabeth. Hello, Elizabeth.
Hello.
It's so nice to see you again. I'm calling you on Zoom here just so that we can chat a little bit about the Dr. Ross Greene's collaborative and proactive solutions model. And you did see Dr. Greene when you were visiting Canada. And I just wondered how it is with you and what the impact of that model was when you first saw it and heard him. Let me you share that a little bit with me.
Well, certainly, I mean, the reason why I travelled, I guess around the world or halfway around the world to attend the workshop was because of the approach that Ross Greene is providing around the CPS model, in that it's really taking into account the child's perspective, and it's really focusing on how to prevent problem behaviours from arising and how to inflame problem behaviours. So using that approach where everybody has an opportunity to collaborate, problem solve, work through the issues of concern, was something that really attracted me to the model. And of course, there's a strong research base. I've read all Ross Greene's books and so forth, so it really kind of makes sense. And since completing the training, it really has, I guess, further reframed the way that I collaborate with my colleagues, the way I support school staff in thinking about resolving problem behaviour. I work across a lot of schools in the state that I work in here in Australia, and schools are often very focused on how to respond to problem behaviour, how to reprimand, how to react to problem behaviour. So this approach has really brought to light the importance of taking it small steps slowly and really thinking about it very collaboratively, trying to tease apart what the issues are, and then really considering all the factors before making assumptions about why a student might be engaging in a particular behaviour. And also, I guess, having an understanding about, well, what's the message in that behaviour? Rather than making assumptions and using labels to describe a behaviour, or the student is just deliberately this or the other, it's like, well, why would this student be wanting to engage in that particular behaviour? What are they telling us? How can they express that? What's another way that we can help them? So that's and using that sort of language when I'm working with school staff. I could be working with school principals, classroom teachers, executive staff, could be delivering whole school professional learning. I could be in a small group meeting, but again, really reframing the language and thinking more holistically and from the perspective of the individual child, as opposed to thinking about how to respond to stop that behaviour, rather how to respond to resolve and problem solve.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. So having taken that back with you to Australia, how has it been received by your peers or parents maybe, and school staff? Yeah.
Good question. Generally, it is received very positively. And in fact, it's not uncommon for professionals, parents, colleagues to say, yeah, that makes so much sense. That's such a common sense way to approach it. And as adults, that's what we hope as adults, how we approach problem behaviours as well for our own resolutions. So yes, it really does make sense. The challenge, I guess, then is really, even though it appears that people are on board with understanding, like, yeah, that does make sense, it's the pragmatics of implementing it, because it's not a quick fix. It takes time and planning and collaboration, as you know, hence the name, and it's got to be proactive, right? So that takes time. So I guess that it's the challenge around implementing the collaboration and taking it step by step. It's the challenge around being proactive and preventative, rather than waiting for problem behaviour to occur, it's like putting the effort in from the get-go. So you're setting up the environment in a way that allows individual students to engage and participate effectively. So yes, response has been positive and it makes sense, and schools, professionals, colleagues, parents are keen and willing. However, the pragmatics of it can create some barriers for some individuals. So it's just working through that, having patience, and yeah, building from there.
Yes, I think that's probably the message or the feedback I get from a lot of people, is that it takes time. And as Dr. Greene says, you can't do it quickly. Oh, it's probably not working. So having said that it takes time is really important for people to hear.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that, because it's definitely not a quick fix, but it's a very rewarding process when it's given the time to be, implemented properly. Yeah.
Exactly. And, the advantage of the options in terms of there's very explicit processes and steps that are identified within the model, or the approach. So that's very helpful. So I guess when coaching staff or colleagues, you can really use that very systematic step-by-step process. But again, it requires ongoing coaching and support. We can't assume that you do a one-day professional learning session for 2 hours for a group of staff that then, away you go and off you do it. It's not going to work like that. So it's always important to be considering, how we're coaching, supporting, following up, providing feedback, demonstrating, modelling, all those sorts of things. That comes with it as well. Right. So therein, I guess when implementing CPS, it really does need to build the capacity of, it's not just here's all the information, where you go. It's like, how will we support you to implement that? So that's a big part of it as well.
That is a huge part, and I'm so glad that you went back to Australia with this new knowledge, and that you've been able to share it. And we want to continue sharing it through forchildren.ca, so that we get the message out there. But it's been great speaking to you, and it's good to see you again. And I hope that we get to talk even more.
Oh, wow. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to see you again too. And thank you for your time.
Okay. Thank you.